Good evening and welcome to the Whiskey Lovers Society with me, Gert Retief. Tonight, traveling to Japan, and we are looking at the Miyagikyo Single Malt Whiskey, produced by the Miyagikyo Distillery. Just a little bit of information on it. It is matured in American casks or American oak. It is a no-age statement whiskey, bottled at 45% ABV. And of course, I'm not going to go into the history. I think everybody knows the whole history about the Nikas and the Japanese whiskies and where it came from. So I'm not going to rehash it. I think there's so many people have discussed this before. So done to death. So for me tonight, it's just going to be about the whiskey, the Miyagikyo Single Malt. I've also done so many other of the Nikas. I will put a little bit of a link of the playlist if you are interested in Nika series or Japanese whiskey. I've done the Nikas, the Hibikis, the Yamazaki. So a little bit additional on the Miyagikyo. Also, I have Nika days coming up soon. So quite looking forward to this one. There's quite a lot of people that have asked about the Nika days, so that will probably be the next one on the list. So on the whiskey itself, nice light golden color. No idea if I have any coloring added to it. As I said, I'm not going to go into the history of this one. For me, tonight is going to be about the nosing and the tasting to see if I like it or not. To date, most of the whiskey from the Japanese series, I did like it. Not all of them 100% on board with them, but most are just nice, smooth, light, enjoyable whiskies. Of course, the only thing that bothers me a little bit is the price. Some of these are quite expensive to buy. I haven't looked at the price of this one. I didn't want to go dig today to find all this information. I was a little bit lazy, but I was also under the impression that people are getting fed up with hearing how much I pay for my whiskey. So, on the nose, cheers. Wow, that is really nice. And I keep on saying that my whiskey that I'm trying is really nice. But what I do like about the Japanese whiskey is the light floral, fruity notes that they have. And for this one, I get a little bit of a ashy note, especially when I just poured it out of the bottle. I got this little bit of an ashy note, something of a maybe if you make a campfire the previous night and the day afterwards you get the ashes. It's got that little bit of that ash note or fireplace where you scoop out the ashes the next day. That's a little bit of a hint of that I got when I first poured it. Now it's getting almost gone, and this poured this one maybe 20 minutes ago already, kept it covered. Now I just get a nice fruity flavors coming out. Soft, not overly sweet fruit. Reminds me a little bit of a hard candy. Many years ago, you get this hard candy with a little bit of a powdery, dusty dust on it, in a little bit of a tin, and all this fruit flavors that you get in it. I'll try to find a picture and I will also put it here somewhere. But it kind of reminds me of that hard candy. There's also a hint of a sour note, very faint. And now, every now and again, not always, when I just get close with my nose, I get a little bit of a butter note. A little bit of a dried apricot as well. And I think that's where I get the sour note from. When sometimes the dried apricots got a hint of a sourness, I just get a hint of that. Also get a hint of a banana note. Not an overly ripe banana, maybe more a green banana. When you break the peel open and it's got a little bit green still, I get that little green note. There's also a little bit of a citrus note definitely coming out now. but it's more like a lemon rind when you just make one of the cocktails and you just take the peel off, and maybe with a little bit of a caster sugar on top to give it a little bit of a sweetness as well. And I also get now a little bit of a dusty note. Maybe it reminds me a little bit of my dad's garage when he did some sanding on oak. You get a dusty note. It reminds me of that. Very well balanced. It's not overly sweet. It's got that sweet component with a little bit of a citrus component coming out. But it's nothing complex. It's just an easy nosing whiskey that you know that you are going to enjoy the lightness of it in the taste. On the taste, cheers. And that little citrus note definitely comes in the taste as well. Definitely get the sweetness. And then I get a little bit of a sweet, citrus note, but with that little bit of an added sugar to it. A little bit of an oily mouthfeel as well. Let's try again. I get a little bit of a caramel note as well, but there's something that maybe has a little bit of a burnt edge to it. So I do get a little bit of an oak as well. A little bit of a wood spices coming out. And the alcohol, 45% ABV. I do get the alcohol. It's got that little bit of a hotness of the alcohol, but also the youthfulness of that alcohol. So it gives that little bit of a warm feeling. And then you get that a little bite on the tongue. And that warmth just covers your whole mouth, leaving you with this almost like a chili ginger type of hotness in the mouth. A little bit of oak definitely appearing. Let me just make sure on the oak. Hint of an oak. So there is a little bit of a oaky tannins coming out, a little bit of a bitter note, but very subtle. Also now get a little bit of a red apple, a nice juicy red apple, with that little bit of a oak in the end. Absolutely fantastic. On the taste as well, I'm not sure where this is coming from, but I do get a hint of a smoke or peat in the end, but it's very small. If I talk about the ppms, I would say maybe a half or not even a half. It just reminds me a little bit that it, and I don't know where it's coming from, and I don't know why I picked this up. It just gives me a little bit of a sense that there is a little bit of smoke in the end. Where it comes from, I'm not sure. So if I look at the finish, let's give it one more try. It is really nice. So it starts off that light sweetness, a hint of a sourness from the maybe the lemon fruit or a little bit of an apricot that I pick up. Then I go into a little bit of that burnt caramel that leaves a little bit of a oaky tannin, a little bit of a bitterness, and then there's nice warm mouthfeel, a medium, but it just gives you that, it just stays at that level, the warmth and the sweetness that's left. Absolutely fantastic. So score-wise, I'm going to give it an 85 out of 100. I think this one, with a little bit of an age statement, maybe 10 years, maybe 12 years, maybe 15 years old, I think this is going to be absolutely fantastic. But of course, they don't have age statements anymore. We're going to have to wait, I think, another 7 or 8 years before they are going to have age statement whiskies again. It's all sold out a couple of years ago. And so hopefully we see this in the future. So that's me on the Miyagikyo Single Malt. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe. Also, remember to like. YouTube likes these little like buttons, not just for me, but also for them to then send my videos out for other people to see. The more people see it, the quicker I get to the 4,000 watch hours, and of course the 1,000 subscribers. So thank you very much, and I see you next time. Cheers.